So we've completed about 6 days of retreat on the 4 establishments of mindfulness: body, feelings, mind, and phenomena. And I wanted to talk today about the mindfulness of the body. I'll introduce you to this person here. This will be me at some point. Oops. It would be really nice if that happened when I was meditating. But I may be in the car driving to the store or something. But anyhow. So through our conditioning, we have a very skewed and distorted view of the body. And establishing mindfulness of the body brings clarity of what the body actually is and how to develop realistic views and expectations of it. And this in turn then lessens the misery and suffering that we experience in relation to our bodies, because that is the truth, is it not? Who is the person that has not experienced misery or suffering with the body? There are no hands up. So it's helpful to first identify the causes of the body, the nature of the body, and the result of the body. And this begins the process of a realistic view of the body. So the causes of the body are the sperm and egg. And these are not attractive substances. They come from the lower part of the body, and we consider them unclean. The nature of our present body is not desirable, even though superficially it may have good shape, color, size, etc. But if we were to cut it open, we would see the muscles, the tissues, the tendons, organs, bones, blood, marrow. Not so desirable, those things. And then everything that comes out of our body, I'm not going to list them because we're going to eat soon. But everybody knows what they are. They're all considered dirty, and we wipe it away. And then the result of our body is a corpse. With birth, automatically death will come at some point. In volume 4 of Following in the Buddha's Footsteps, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Venerable Children write, mindfulness investigates the body and sees that although it appears to be the contrary, it is not clean and attractive. It is impermanent. It cannot provide genuine happiness or pleasure, and it is not a self. This reduces our attachment to it, which decreases worry and obsession about the body. We usually see our own and other bodies as solid, permanent, and real, and we become easily enamored with them and are attracted by their superficial appearance without looking at what they really are. But when we look deeply at the nature of the body, it becomes obvious that regarding it as clean and beautiful is a wrong conception. Even just hearing this, I don't know about you, but my mind wants to push that away a little bit. We are so conditioned. So although our body is the basis that supports our precious human life so that we can practice the Dharma and attain awakening, we don't tend to see the body realistically. And so to develop a balanced perspective of the body, we can practice the mindfulness of the body meditations. And it does take practice. And so that we don't want to go to the extremes of either despising it or being totally infatuated with it. So we keep it healthy and relatively comfortable so that we can practice the Dharma. Attachment to the body leads to self-indulgence and anger, though, when the body becomes ill, is in pain, and dies. So there are 2 perspectives that we can think about here. The perspective of it being impermanent, made of foul substances, under the influence of afflictions and karma, and the basis for pain. The body is not something to cherish. But from the perspective of it being the physical basis of a precious human life in which we all have in which we all have conducive circumstances to practice the Dharma, progress on the path, attain liberation and awakening, the body is to be cherished and cared for. So these perspectives are not contradictory because we apply each at different times depending on our mind, behavior, and an intention. And so if we keep that in mind, then we start practicing in the middle way in caring for our bodies with a Dharma motivation. We have been conditioned to see the body as beautiful, having the capacity to bring us happiness, and so we cling to the body as I or mine, and our identity and values become tied to our bodies. Seeing the body as our possession, we become scared of losing it at death time. So meditating on the skeleton is an excellent way to get a realistic view of the body. This is one of the meditations that I do a lot, and it's very powerful. So I wanted to lead us through a short meditation on the skeleton, hence why our friend is here today. I like to use visuals because that helps our imagination, and we get connected then to the meditations, I think, a little easier. So settle and close your eyes for a minute, or lower them, however you do it. So imagine at the center of your brow, there is a hole that goes down to the bone. There is no flesh in the hole. It's the size of the tip of your thumb. You imagine that it gets bigger, so the flesh falls away from the whole skull and everything inside your skull falls away. So there is just the bone left. So your brain, your eyes vanish. Just the skull. The area without flesh keeps getting larger and larger. So your esophagus vanishes, along with the skin and muscles in the neck. Your thyroid gland vanishes, your lungs, your heart, your liver, your spleen vanish. Your gallbladder and stomach vanish. Your large intestine and small intestine. Your kidneys and bladder vanish. Along with all those organs, all of the muscles, the skin, all the circulation, all vanish. So your skin and muscles on the outside, your organs on the inside, everything vanishes, so there is just the skeleton. Now imagine your skeleton starts getting larger. It fills this room. It fills the building you are in. Growing even larger, it is big as the city is. Now as big as the state. Now as big as the continent. Now as big as the earth. And now as big as the universe. Concentrate on all of space being filled with your bones. And now imagine your skeleton shrinks back to its normal size. Now the bones begin to dissolve. First the feet, lower legs, upper legs, the sit bones, the sacrum and pelvis, now the spinal column and rib cage dissolve. The arm and hand bones, the scapulas, clavicle, all dissolve. Now the skull dissolves except the fragment of bone at the hole where you started. This bone fragment now becomes your object of single-pointed concentration. Now the flesh and internal organs begin to reappear, starting with the feet, going up the legs, to the waist, and then up to your head. So now the body is as we started, covered in skin. Now you can open your eyes. So this meditation is very effective because it is a general antidote for desire. It decreases the grasping of the body to be the basis of identity, the basis of self. All the identities based on the body, age, gender, race, ethnicity, sexual interest, aptitude, healthy or sick, attractive or ugly, are not entertained when we do this meditation. When we make the skeleton big and then shrink it down and then dissolve it, we are experiencing its impermanence. This decreases the grasping and also decreases our attachment to this samsaric existence. So our renunciation increases. When we meditate on the realistic aspects of the body, it cuts the attachment to it, cuts the excitement and fantasies about receiving pleasure from it. And excitement and sensual desire are big distractions to developing concentration. So as we make the focal point of our meditation more and more subtle, that eliminates laxity, which is a very big hindrance in developing concentration. So let's continue to practice the 4 establishments of mindfulness so that we can progress on the path, continue to develop our equanimity, love, compassion, bodhicitta, and wisdom, and attain Buddhahood, and so that we can lead all others to that supreme state.